Now, let's take a look at your new large-scale Heisler. One look and you'll appreciate what an authentic replication it is. The new Spectrum Heisler is a model of a 36-ton, 3-foot gauge locomotive with 33-inch drivers built in the mid-1920s. Its classification is 36833. Depending on which model road name you've purchased, some of the details on your locomotive may vary. However, all of the details built into your Spectrum Heisler are true to prototype, such as the die-cast I-beam frame with frame supports, the characteristic 9-spoke Heisler wheels with connecting side rods, the authentic V-shaped cylinder assembly with its operating Stephenson valve gear, and distinctive single-post truss rods. And that's just the beginning. The Spectrum Heisler is loaded with lots of other details, including smokebox cleanout plugs, generator, sand lines, piping, blackened metal handrails and stanchions, machined brass bell pop valves and whistle. The cab features the trademark Heisler arched windows and 3-panel doors that open to reveal a completely detailed boiler backhead bristling with gauges, valve handles, and controls, such as the throttle, Johnson bar, brake handle, and crew seats. Your model will come with either a coal load or oil tank in the fuel bunker. On the back of the bunker, you'll find a Heisler sandbox and realistic sand lines connected to the trucks just as they were on the prototype. Again, depending on which model you've purchased, your locomotive will have either a tapered, diamond, or onion stack. And some models will have the unique Heisler outside frame disc counterweights as per the prototype. Others will also feature an air pump and reservoir air tanks. Other features include a glowing firebox, directional LED headlights, an operating smoke unit, and a polarity switch, which, when it's in the center off position, allows you to park your Heisler on any live track until you're ready to roll. Push the switch to one side or the other to run your Heisler to either NMRA NAM standards or common large-scale practices. To access the DCC circuit board, simply lift the fuel load from directly behind the cab and pull it up and away from the fuel bunker. Just like the prototype, your DCC-ready Spectrum Heisler will operate smoothly and powerfully. Its 2 motors will pull your trains at realistic speeds, up and down grades and around curves on your layout. Each heavy die-cast powered truck is driven by a pre-tested precision balanced can motor with lots of gear reduction for loads of pulling power. There are ball bearing races on each axle, and all 8 wheels are powered and pick up electricity from the track. Of course, the key to continued optimum performance is regularly scheduled maintenance. As it comes from the factory, your new Heisler will require a light lubrication before you run it for the first time. After you've put 25 hours running time on the Heisler, a more extensive heavy lubrication is required. The product engineers at Bachmann have designed your new Heisler so that either a light or heavy lubrication is a series of simple procedures. You'll need a flat, clean work surface, the top half of the foam protective cover from your Heisler box, or a fluffy towel and plastic-compatible lubes. We recommend Bachmann's line of Easy Lube professional lubricants. However, any plastic-compatible products will do. Now, reach under the ends of the frame on your Heisler and turn it on its side on the towel, or place it upside down in the top half of the protective foam that your Heisler came in. As it comes from the factory, your Heisler's internal gears and bearings have been lubricated sufficiently for its initial break-in period. However, you'll need to do some external oiling. So let's get started. Take some light gear oil and lubricate the truck side rods where they are attached to the driving wheels. A single drop or 2 will do. If you have a model with the outside frame disc trucks, be sure to also put a drop of oil on the side rod connection to the discs, as well as where the discs connect to the truck side frame. Continuing with the light gear oil, lubricate all of the mating and telescoping surfaces along the center drive shaft. Again, a single drop or 2 at each joint will suffice. And don't forget the valve gear at the bottom of the V2 cylinders. Be sure to lubricate all of the bearing surfaces. Next, put a small drop of light gear oil on each axle where it exits the power truck. Don't forget to do both sides. Now you'll need to put a drop of oil on the universal joint where the drive shafts connect to the motor. This is in the large opening on the top of each power truck and at the end closest to the cab. Just pull it down slightly for easier access. While you are working up near the frame, put a drop of light gear oil on the rollers where the trucks connect to the frame. These rollers help distribute the locomotive's weight more evenly onto the trucks as they negotiate the curves and grades on your layout. Finally, take the Easy Lube conductive lubricant and put a drop on each of the 8 driving wheel treads. Next, put a drop of this conductivity enhancer where the power pickup plunger contacts the back of each wheel. This will improve the electrical pickup of your locomotive. Remember to do these procedures on each power truck. That's it, you're all done. Your Heisler is ready to go for its first run. After you've run your Heisler for 25 hours, or if you notice some squeaking or gear noise, it's time to give your Heisler a heavy lubrication. Again, turn your Heisler on its side on a towel or upside down in the upper half of the foam packing material. Gently pull the brake rods from their connecting slots on the power trucks. Using a small Phillips head screwdriver, remove the 4 screws from the bottom cover plate on the power truck. Remove the cover plate by pulling it straight out. Now, using a light gear oil, lubricate the crank pins connecting the side rods to the wheels. Next, put a drop of light oil on each of the ball bearing races on each axle. Also put a drop of light oil on the motor drive shaft where it exits the motor housing. There is one on each end of the motor. Now, continuing with the light gear oil, lubricate all of the mating and telescoping surfaces along the center drive shaft. Again, a single drop or 2 at each joint will suffice. And don't forget the valve gear at the bottom of the V2 cylinders. Be sure to lubricate all of the bearing surfaces. Now you will need to put a drop of oil on the universal joint where the drive shafts connect to the motor. This is in the large opening on the top of each power truck at the end closest to the cab. Put a drop of light gear oil on the rollers where the trucks connect to the frame. Next, take heavy gear oil and put a drop on all of the visible gears. Follow the heavy gear oil up with a small dollop of gear grease on one of the gears on each axle. The grease will be distributed to the other gears when you run your Heisler. Finally, put a drop of conductive lubricant on each of the wheel treads and on the electrical pickup plungers where they contact the back of each wheel. Replace the cover plate and you're ready to roll. Don't forget to do both power trucks. Lubrication is important, but don't overdo it. Too much lubrication is just as bad as not enough. If you maintain a sensible lubrication schedule, your Heisler will provide you with years of operating pleasure. Just like the Heisler Locomotive works, Bachmann stands behind our products, so don't forget to send in your warranty card. Thank you for buying Bachmann's Spectrum large-scale Heisler locomotive. Please stop by your local train or hobby store to see the rest of our large-scale product line, or check us out on the web at www.bachmanntrains.com. And as the Bachman says, enjoy your trains.